Here I'm going to tie a fly called the Copperhead Midge. First thing we're going to do is just take some black thread. We're just going to get it started on our hook, and I'm only going to take it about halfway back the shank of the hook. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a strip of copper crystal flash here, and I'm going to tie it in so that an inch or more, maybe an inch and a half, will hang off the front of the fly. And I'm going to take my thread and then I'm just going to build a nice smooth body, wrapping back down the shank of the hook all the way to the bend. And I'm going to take my thread forward, nice and smooth, back up to the head. Now the next thing to do is I'm going to take that copper crystal flash, I'm going to do one wrap behind the thread on the bend of the hook, and then I'm going to spiral it forward like a candy cane. And I try to do this as evenly as possible, and usually I can only get about 3 spirals on this small of a hook. The fourth one I usually just cover up with thread. Now I'm going to take that crystal flash, and I'm going to take both of those pieces, the tag end that I just had from wrapping the body and also the piece that I left hanging off the front of the hook, and I'm going to leave both of those hanging off the front of the fly. And I'm going to take a little bit of amber superfine dubbing, just enough to coat the thread. I got to be very careful not to overdo it with this dubbing. And I'm going to dub it very tightly onto the thread. And I'm just going to build up a little bit of a bulbous kind of a head or thorax. If you add too much at once, I like to spread it out. There we go. I try to make this head as round as I can, and I do so by kind of doing figure X's with the dubbing. And once you've got your head built, you're just going to jump your thread to in front of that head. I'm going to take the 2 strips of copper crystal flash, and I'm just going to lay some wraps down right in front of those as I pull them back, and then I can whip finish. And I can trim out the thread. And I'm going to trim these pieces of crystal flash just a hair longer than the thorax. And that's all there is to a Copperhead Midge, a very easy fly to tie. You can also coat the body there with some loon fly finish or some head cement just to keep it from falling apart, add a little bit of a sheen. I'm usually pretty lazy, so I just kind of fish them like as is. And that's all there is to the Copperhead Midge.